Tell me your story.
I was this close to dying from a brain abscess that was misdiagnosed.
Good to know people care, though.
For a lot of people, the MRIs are clear.
You said you had a lot to tell.
Oh, yeah.
Someone said,
I thought it was normal to have like seizures by yourself all the time.
You definitely will feel guilt a lot.
I so appreciate you putting this together.
thank you. How do you deal with the side effects? Is what the question is. Mine came with insomnia, so how fun is that? So when I deal with it, I just deal with it. How do you deal with it? When it says I'm not sleeping tonight, and I'm usually not sleeping tonight, then I find something to do instead of sleep.
Are you
Yeah.
talking about the side effects of all the meds?
Say that again?
Are they talking about the side effects of their meds that they're
Yeah.
on? Which ones are they on? Because do they
Um,
say?
they did not say what med they're on, but they're saying they can't deal with the fatigue, the feeling shaky, jerking, daydreaming, blurred vision, and sometimes I can't talk after a seizure.
Yeah, this just sounds really similar to me, which is why I was curious. Because like I said, I'm on a lot of Keppra, but not like 4 grams of it. But um after I take it, I get the definitely fatigue and like blurred vision, which is not great. But it's also like I have the opposite of you. Like I sleep constantly. Like I don't have any kept rage or anything. I just am sleeping all the time. I sleep entire days away if I'm not working and it's my day off. Like today, I just sleep the entire day. Like last time, I forget who last time I was here, but I don't know. Someone and I were talking about how we just are, addicted to caffeine because it's kind of necessary to get through the day at this point, and we should not feel bad about it.
Got another post here, and it's very interesting because it says, "Is getting in quote too much sleep a trigger for you?" I am just recently diagnosed with FAS. Is that frontal aware seizures or focal aware seizures? Mm. So I'm starting to figure out what my triggers are, and adjusting to pregabalin doses increases. Wait, adjusting to pregabalin doses increase. I'm still seizing every 2 to 3 days. My menopause brain only allows me to have an average of 4 to 5 hours of sleep, and I know the lack of sleep is a cause for triggers, is a cause and triggers for many people. However, I'm finding that when I sleep more than 6 hours, when I get up, I can tell it's going to be a bad day. I still have sensations in my head and face that precede the seizures. So thankfully, I know to take care of myself and stay home. I'm going to give it more time to see if it really is a trigger. If it is, then I'll set an alarm to wake up at 5 hours. Does anyone else have a trigger with sleeping too long, or am I crazy? I never imagined that I would need to spend time figuring these things out. This disorder is bizarre and difficult to adjust to. Very much. And you're not crazy.
Not crazy.
I don't know about too much sleep being a trigger, but everybody's body is different. So I'm not going to tell you that you're tripping or nothing like that, because anything is possible with this stuff, come to find out. Or there's just so many people with epilepsy that there's so many different things that I don't know what to watch out for these days. So I just say anything's possible. Getting too much sleep for you guys, is that a thing for you guys?
Not me. I love sleeping.
Right, I love sleeping if I could. Whenever I can get some sleep, it's great. If I can get some sleep at any point in time, it's great. These days, I'm fighting to sleep. trying to get so much sleep in. Yeah. It's usually the end of the night when I smoke, and that's what helps. So yeah. There is a comment here. One said considered that maybe the sleep is your body responding to something being wrong, almost like your body goes, "Uh-oh, something's not right." The impending seizures. Oh, this one says basically sleep is a symptom of the seizures, not the seizures being a symptom of the increased sleep. I hope that makes sense, but that always leaves a question mark to ask. Is the seizure because of XYZ, or is XYZ because of a seizure? One comment here says if I oversleep, it can cause problems, but I think it's mostly because I miss my morning meds. However, sometimes I take naps in which I get deep sleep and coming out of them, I get deep sleep and coming out of them, I feel a bit confused. I feel
I can't
the same as an aura.
This
So
is the hard
far,
game.
never been more than that though. I just had a breakthrough cluster. I don't know what to do, so I'd really like someone to talk to. I must have been on my 3rd month seizure free. I have tonic-clonics, and they always come in clusters of 3. This time I had 4, and I'm on 2 grams of Keppra. This one says, this time I had 4, and I'm on 2 grams of Keppra a day. How fucked up am I? Mark, Angel, Casey. And we don't know the level of fuck this person is on.
Yeah, I don't know.
Somewhere between not and entirely.
So this person, there is hope.
Yeah,
It's
There.
just a breakthrough, it's just a cluster,
literally
regular day
what?
stuff.
You survive it.
Yeah.
A
There's
cluster.
always hope, but when those breakthroughs happens, it's always comes with a vengeance.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I could say after a year, I'd kind of forget what seizures felt like. Um, well, I'm saying you guys look kind of not like that. I mean, like, um, after it's been so long, I couldn't imagine going that long and just then it just like come out of nowhere. It really freaking suck.
I want to get to Kev status.
What?
I
I'm
want to get
sorry.
to Kev status.
Oh, I thought you said you want to get to status. I was like, made me itch. That's something you want?
No, Kev status. I don't
Yeah.
want status again.
Yeah.
Kev's been what? Seizure free 7 years.
I think he said 6. I think he said going on 7. I got something here though.
It
It
is
says
telling
for
me it's bedtime.
the med
Bedtime.
telling you it's bedtime.
Kitty.
I love your cat.
Stick with me real quick. One more post.
One more.
It says,
Yeah.
how bad is your memory loss? For those with temporal lobe epilepsy specifically, do you suffer from short-term memory loss? My seizures are well controlled with medication, thankfully, but my short-term memory is absolutely non-existent. It's gotten to the point that if I watch a TV show, I can't remember what the last week's episode was about by the time the next one airs, and it's so frustrating. ETA. How many of you are on Lamictal? I take both. I wasn't aware memory loss was such a common side effect. My neurologist loosely warned me about it, but I wasn't expecting it to be like this bad. The question was, how bad is your memory loss?
Is it
It's
like long
pretty
term or
bad.
short term?
My short term is pretty good. My long term is pretty good. My short term is there is no short term.
Got you.
And the crazy thing about it is I have horrible short-term memory, but these short-term memories, they come back when I don't need them. I come back next week and I'll be like, oh, remember when you're thinking about this, and it has nothing to do with I'll be thinking about that point. I mean, at certain moments or whatever. Yeah, memories are there when I don't need them. But long term, I can remember my childhood. I can remember growing up, going to school, this, and that. And yeah, pretty much people can ask me questions from my childhood. I can go back and yeah, I remember this. I have nice stories and stuff. But yeah, I can't tell you what I had for breakfast and yeah, what I watched first when the TV came on and all that stuff. Won't remember.
I'm the opposite of that, I think. Or
You have good
like,
memory?
no, like I have terrible, like the long term,
Oh,
like, well, I don't know. I don't know what, it depends. Like I'll forget conversations. Maybe that is that short term? Or like
yeah,
telling
that'd be
someone something I just told them, basically. Is that short term?
yeah, my short term is gone, as in I can get a notification and I can swipe it on accident, and I'm like, oh, what notification did I just swipe right on? I didn't mean to send that away. So now I'm
Mm,
looking for each notification at the icon, trying to figure out if that was the one I just swiped left on. That's how bad I am.
gotcha.
Yeah, if I receive a text message and I read it and something happens and I don't like respond or think about or whatever that text message that I just read, it's just gone into oblivion. And I am never going to reply to that person. I just will not remember it, you know, and that's made some people angry at me in the past. So, um, yeah, I don't know whether to attribute that to um, epilepsy and epilepsy memory or to ADHD, because uh, both of them kind of plausibly could explain the results. Uh, ADHD medications have helped with some things, but they've made me more scattered in some other ways in the past. And I don't know, when it comes to that particular metric of replying to a text message that I've read, it seems like a wash. So, um, I don't know. I definitely noticed that the I think if given that it would be a wash, I think that that would more likely point to epilepsy being the memory issue, the underlying memory issue over that period. So, yeah, there's some rambling for you.
Mhm.
Fine with me.
Yeah,
Um,
it does make sense though.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Everything that teaches me something, it's good. I like learning. Um, some of the comments here. One says, I used to have an amazing memory. Now I can barely recall yesterday. When I was diagnosed a few years ago, I would miss doses of medication, end up having seizures every few days. Now I can barely remember the first few years of my daughter's life. Even while writing this, I had to go back and check your post to see what it was even about before responding to it. LOL. Been there. Another comment says, it is definitely not fun when you're surprised by something you already know. I watched a lot of movies for the first time a lot of times.
I mean, that's not necessarily always such a bad thing.
No, that's a
Right.
good.
You get to see a good movie a lot of times, and sometimes the third time is the best time. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to dip also. I'm sorry.
No, go
Because
ahead.
I'm actually seeing a movie tonight. So thank you again, though, for having me here. I appreciate it a lot.
You're going to the movies?
Yeah, yeah. My friends are taking me to see the second Five Nights at Freddy's movie because it's really bad, apparently. So, we're gonna, get high in the parking lot and just make fun of it. So these are my plans.
Gotcha.
That sounds like fun.
And yeah, it's
Have
gonna,
fun, stay safe, man.
yes, of
Are you going
course.
to the drive-in?
You're
No,
welcome
oh,
back
that'd be nice.
anytime.
I haven't been to a drive-in in forever. Like, you gotta find those. They're usually
Man, those are fun.
anyway, but no.
I
There's a
Support
saw
few in
local.
one like
Jersey.
15 years ago up in Montana somewhere, like in the middle of nowhere.
See, it's always in the middle of nowhere, yeah. Or somewhere really like pretty. Montana
I
sounds nice.
You
think
need
in Jersey
someplace
there's
dark
some.
though, and that's the problem. You can't go close to any actual customer base because anywhere that has people is gonna have light, and that's gonna mess up the the movie.
And the experience and the noise, not to mention. I live in the
Yeah,
center of a city. It's so annoying. But yeah, that being said, thank you again, guys.
yeah.
Yeah,
Hey, thank you for coming.
of course.
Yeah,
It's
thank you
been
See
a
for
you,
coming.
pleasure. Yeah.
see
Yeah.
you next time.
Yes, I'll try and have fun again.
I just wanted to check in and say hi to see you guys
Hey,
real quick. I've been only made it to work a couple days this week. I've been having issues with my pancreas, which then leads to not being able to keep my seizure meds down, and then having issues with that. And it's been a shitty week, but I just wanted to at least say say hi because seeing you guys cheers me up.
hey man,
So
does it cheer you up anymore to know I had a seizure and I broke my dick?
you wait, I don't even want to repeat what I think you said. You what?
Yeah, man. Freaking
How?
broke it, bro.
I
But
heard it
Wait,
too, and I was like, "What?"
are you joking? Are you just fucking with me, or hey, like,
oh, no, I'm serious.
you broke that?
Like,
I mean, I've heard of that, like being a thing, but how I don't even want to know the detail.
well, you're gonna know just because you brought it up. Um,
I brought it up. You brought it up, motherfucker.
yeah, you said I don't want to know, but you said I don't want to know. You said it like you wanted to know. You said it like
All
I
right,
don't
go
want to
ahead.
know. You want to tell me. That's what it sounded like. But what had
Yeah,
happened was,
I'm too curious. I'm too curious now, man. Let me, yeah,
so
give me this,
what had
give me the
happened
story.
was I had a seizure. One says tonic-clonic to focal. For almost 10 years, I've had tonic-clonic seizures for a while. They've got a little less frequent, and then this past year, they've been every month or twice a month, and often several days, several times a day. And then recently, these have changed and turned from tonic-clonic seizures to what I believe are called focal seizures. But I am still exhausted after these, like my past seizures, and I don't remember anything about it for hours. Has this had happened to anyone before, and did it last? At first, I thought maybe my seizures were less intense, so it was better, but they're also happening more often, so I'm unsure. I have plans to get a VNS implant, soon. So I'm hopefully that could help also, but I'm not sure what part of my brain my seizures are coming from. My question is, has that happened to anyone before yet? Personally, me, no.
I'm the opposite. I'm focal to bilateral, basically, focal to tonic-clonic.
Yeah, I was thinking that too, that I'm kind of the opposite. I can't 100% relate to that. But I do have another one. It says epilepsy and antidepressant. Hey guys, I've been on epilepsy medication now for more than 11 years, and I started going on antidepressants 3 years ago. My mental health declined to a point where I no longer want to live, and it came full on crashing down on me, also ending up in a psychiatric ward for depression. Since I've been on antidepressants, I've noticed that the frequency of my tonic-clonic seizures rose, and even small seizures emerged that were not noticeable before. I was told that the antidepressants will lower my thresholds for seizure stability, and I'm definitely feeling the difference, especially looking back now at 2025. I wanted to ask you guys about your experience. Did you make any similar experiences? Wait, did you make similar experiences or make better ones? How are the antidepressants working for you, and how are you dealing with the side effects on top of the epilepsy medication side effects? Much love. P.S. Epilepsy and depression can suck a dick. The question was, did you make similar experiences or make better ones? 2025, I told myself my epilepsy needs to be better. And I told myself maybe I can make epilepsy better for others. So now we're here.
You did.
Um,
You did.
yeah.
You
And
definitely
yeah,
did. Just starting this podcast did.
antidepressants weren't helping. They were just helping me live because they're also seizure medication. So I can't say that they really helped me, but I'm alive. So they've helped that. Can't complain. I mean, complain about the average stuff, epilepsy. Other than that, I'm not going to complain about epilepsy anymore. Seizures are coming, whether I like it or not. Live the best life I can.
Yeah, I was in a bad spot
Talk about
when
it.
when you sent me into the invite for this, and I think that's just with like depression and all the stuff I was going through alone. And when you sent this, and I think it really, really helped. It changed out around a lot of stuff, personal views and everything. And then I was learning even more than I ever Googled before.
The isolation is killing me. Not being able to drive is making me crazy. I'm lucky enough to have a spouse that loves me, so I'm not alone all the time. But when they're not home, I get so depressed. I also have a work from home job and a call center that gives me anxiety. I want life back. That's all. What do I do? Say that again?
Stop thinking you're getting your life back. You're not.
Yeah, you sound like you have a good life.
I do. I'm not complaining about it, but it's never going to be the same as it was before I had epilepsy.
Yeah, I was talking to that person, but yeah, we do have a great life. Um,
Regardless if he has a great life, he's never going to be the same.
Never gonna be able to say thank your wife. Or you didn't say wife. You might have said lucky enough to have a spouse.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, high five your significant other because they're a dime a dozen these days. Not everybody wants to deal with someone who has epilepsy. And maybe it's just me talking. Maybe it's just the people I find.
I don't think it's just you talking. That's the way it is. I think it's hard for people to have to deal with.
I do have one comment here. 33-year-old female. I work remotely from home full time since 2019. Over the last 2 years, I've been allowed to drive 5 months total. It is beyond difficult until you learn to be comfortable with being yourself long term. I highly suggest a therapist, journaling, online exercise class, and some sort of artistic hobby. Being able to log in the same being able to log in the same time every week to a fitness class and see others helps you look forward to the future. I personally also have pets that keep me busy. That keep me busy too. I've considered online book clubs, but I personally haven't found one that I enjoy yet.
Pets are a great thing, a great way to have company. Um, but it's not the same as having a person around. But I mean, still, it's they can be great company themselves. I know for instance, when I was in Pennsylvania and Liz was working all day, I had the cat on my lap all day. So it was, at least somebody there, something to keep me company.
Yeah.
And that was, kind of a relief.
So, some of the comments here. One says, "Damn it, I'm so sorry. This is why I'm glad I've never had a license. I was diagnosed when I was 12 and I'm 34, so I've never known the pain of getting it taken away. Are your seizures controlled or improving at all?" And the person says, "I have TLE, so I get a lot of auras. Honestly, I'm not sure if I have had a full blown absence seizure in a while because I don't have grand mal seizures." Reading some of these posts, it shows me how bad others have it, so I don't complain about my own.
Yeah, but then it also shows you that you went farther when you think you don't have it that bad. Sometimes I have absences. I don't know when I have absences. Usually someone has to point it out to me, unless they're very, very long.
Yeah, that's the only way I can tell is if they're really long. Otherwise, I could be having them, throughout the day, and I wouldn't know.
Yeah, you can have 100 a day.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
when they're really long, you can tell.
I got something here that says focal aware. My EEG was clean, and the neurologist thinks my episodes aren't seizures, but my symptoms are pretty typical for focal aware. Is this discrimination against focal aware? Is it more difficult to be diagnosed with it? I'm not claiming to know everything, but I feel they are overlooked in my symptoms. They seem dismissive when I told them that they aren't grand mals, that I don't lose awareness fully. Firstly, when you said they, that kind of puts all of the what do they call it, neurologists in a box.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say all of them don't pay attention because neurologists, some of them are really on top of stuff. For me personally, some are, some aren't. I'm not gonna put them all in the box and say they. Um,
You got your good apples, you got your bad apples.
there you go. Doesn't make
And
the
this
whole bunch
person may
bad.
not be describing what's happening properly to the doctor.
I've had bad doctors. I didn't know they were bad, but at times, like the one that had me on Keppra, I knew that one was bad. All he wanted to do was raise up the medicine, and it wasn't helping. It wasn't doing anything. Just giving me more rage. And
Yeah.
eventually I found a good one and that of how I am supposed to be treated, you know? I get to
You
work with my doctor. I get to show him the info. I get to show him like all these things. When we were talking, in fact, when we were talking about taking me off of medications, it was a long talk, you know? Even the
yeah.
talk of excopery was like, okay, look, there's this medicine. Here's the ups and downs of it and stuff like that. And this was a what turned into a 3-hour appointment, basically. Um, Here's the ups and downs of it. And at the end, it wasn't, I'm prescribing it to you. It was, do you want to take it? You know?
That's a good doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say I like those doctors. The ones that say, "Do you want to take this?
Right.
Do you want to take that?"
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
those
always, do
ones.
you want to try this? He
Yeah,
was the
and she
one
said,
that I was going to say my current neurologist is the one that found out my absence seizures. We can't prove it, but um, looking back at ODEGs and stuff, I might have been having absences far before my grand mal started.
I think I might have had a couple absent, like ones too, where other people noticed, and I just thought it was like, oh my, I was just out of it, like my medication, and I was just having a bad day on
Yeah,
it.
when
But
they
now
go,
that, after, talking to all you guys and realizing what, exactly how different people react for different type of seizures, I think that it might have been that. Um, I had one day specifically when I was at work, and I went from being outside on the play area with the kids, and I remember that, and then being back in the office, the office for the school, area in the I don't know what you want to call it, the room where, in the kids come in if they're not feeling well or something like that. I remember laying on the bed, and then the other one of the other teachers that was outside, they had told my mom, um, basically they're like, yeah, we saw him talking to some kids, and then all of a sudden he just kind of like froze up and he didn't move for a while, and then we had to kind of talk him into coming back to the office, and we had to walk him over there. And so now, kind of, putting two and two, I just thought it was like, oh, my meds are messing with me. But now putting two and two together after listening to all of your guys' stories, and what happened that day, what other people had seen that day, I think it was, yeah, a smaller seizure. It was one of my grandma ones, which I is weird to me because that's the only type I've had is grand mal. I haven't had any, like, focal, or just, whatever term you want to call them, just being off base, out of touch for the moment. I hadn't had those before, but now that, looking back, I'm like, wait, was that moment one? Was that time when I had one? It Yeah, it's interesting to think back now on certain times, what you had, or what think might have been one or something.
"Yeah,
Sorry.
don't apologize." Yeah, here goes some comments. One says, "I had an EEG, 3 or 4 MRIs before they found anything. I did have 2 tonics, and ended up in the ER also." Another one says, "I don't know where you are, but I would tell you to change your doctor. Another comment here says, I have clean EEG also, but my SMU stay without meds was loaded with seizure activity, even without actual focal aware happening yet. And then I did have a focal aware leading to tonic clonic. In my second EMU stay, I had a multiple focal aware. Another comment, it says, I've had focal awares for a while. They built up to petite mals over time. Have your seizures went from one point to worse? Because I feel like mine's have went from when I learned. I feel like once I started learning thing about epilepsy, I think I might have been having this wandering off way longer than I thought I was. And I don't know if that's like a thing that changes with time, or is it just something I'm just noticing. I thought of that too. Like, am I just now noticing wandering off? Because I've had some times where I'm just really confused. But yeah, just like James was saying, that I'm just now figuring out some stuff and thinking some other stuff might have happened before I started paying attention.
Yeah, and like in the moment too, it just you just feel like you're like an idiot, right? Like for like
Mm-hmm.
for a few seconds, you're just like, oh wait, okay, I'm being stupid. Like it's a medication, or that it's
I
a
should know this is
it
stupid.
yeah, it's just a weird like side moment. You're like, oh, okay, maybe I'm dizzy or nauseated or something. And like I've mentioned a bunch of times my other health issues, so maybe I was just like, oh, is it those meds that are causing this? Like you don't really know about it, but then when you look back on it, you're like, okay, now I know what it was like. Or you're pretty sure what it was. Obviously there's no way to prove what happened you know 11 years ago or something like that, but yeah, that's just kind of the way you figure it out. Like I said, you put two and two together and you got it.
I got something here. It says, I'm always tired. Hi, I'm a female. I was diagnosed with partial epilepsy last October. Right after my 19th birthday, my doctor prescribed me Trileptal, 600 milligrams twice a day, and by far, I feel it's working. Before getting diagnosed, I had tremors in my hands and full body jerks. Now they happen less frequently, and I haven't had a full seizure since the beginning of November. Um, the thing is, some weeks I am just tired, like every day. I can't get out of bed. I feel like my brain goes static, and every time I try to create a new thought, it gets blocked. If that makes sense, I get dizzy and I can't remember anything. My doctor warned me of these side effects, but he said that it would go away eventually. But I have been taking this drug for 2 months now, and I still feel very tired, like week one. Is this normal? Or is my body slowly adapting to this drug? Sorry if this is poorly written English. English isn't my first language. Okay. Um, it's
That's
only been,
essentially
how long did they say it was? 2 months? Um, yeah, you got to give it some time. You can't give up on it already. Um, Forgot what they said it was. I remember it was some trileptal, oxycarbazepine. Haven't taken that, but I got some. I was told to take it once upon a time. I can't remember when or by who, but I didn't. Um, and yeah, the person says it's working well. Uh,
yeah, I was gonna say that's not what I'm on, but that essentially has been my last week. I mean, when I looked on it, yeah, I told you guys wasn't here on Tuesday. I've just been feeling crappy all week, and like I haven't gone to work, and I'm just slow and tired, and I don't know what medication it is because I'm taking a few, but it's got to be one of them because this wasn't the me a few years ago when I wasn't on different
Right.
medications. So it's it's a I don't know. There's got to be one certain word for it, but I don't know what it is. But it's a trade off, or a balance that you got to figure out. Like, do you want to
Yeah.
put up with being a little tired, or do you want to have seizures every few days and be sore and
Yes.
have
If you watch,
bruising and
if you watch
different
the first
things like
episode, if you watch the first episode, the first time I did this,
mm,
there was a guy on here who said, um, "Would you have rather be happy and not having seizures? No. Would you rather be miserable and not having seizures, or happy and having seizures?" And I was like, "That is a good way to put it. You're gonna be
because
happy not to." So
that's what it is. I mean, I take the Keppra right now. I take the Vimpat. I'm still having them, every couple of weeks, but I can only imagine what they would be if I didn't take them. So it's like it really is that choice. Would you rather have one every couple of days and not feel tired, or whatever that the word you want to say, that the person is feeling, or would you rather take them and do all that? It's just it's just something that I guess that we all have to put up with, kind of, and it's not a fun choice, it's not a fun decision, and I guess that's why we're all here talking to each other, because it's a fucking pain in the ass and we need somebody to to talk to about it, right?
right. Got some comments here. One says, down to I suffer from fatigue down to the side effects of very strong medication. Not a day goes by when I don't need a few hours of sleep in the afternoon. I can never stay up later than a certain time either. It really disrupts my day. For someone in their 30s, I certainly sleep a lot. I wish I knew what I could do to help. Another comment. One says, everyone is different, as it takes for each of us to adjust. It is a good drug because It is a good drug, but sodium levels are needed monitoring. I was on for 13 years with good seizure control, but over time my sodium levels got low. Doesn't doesn't happen to everyone, but higher possibility than other drugs. One last one says, everyone is different, but I would say it's normal. From my experience, maybe ask for another different drug to try. Have you ever heard of too much sleep being a trigger?
Not being a trigger. um I would say, for me at least, it comes on kind of like these people are talking about it. It just comes on days where the meds kick your ass. That's basically what's happened this week. I
I
came
got
I came
stuff.
home and I was gonna watch some racing, some F1 racing with my dad, and like halfway through I fell asleep. I just no nothing, no trigger, no whatever. I just fell asleep halfway through, what we were watching, and it was just annoying because it was like, time I wanted to spend with my dad, and also annoying because I knew it was, the meds. It was like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I mean, there was no reason for me to fall asleep, but I still did. It was, yeah, it's just so frustrating sometimes. I
It's
almost rather would be like, like a drunk or an addict or something. At least I would have like be like, oh, okay, this was the reason why I did it. It was my bad, my fault, my choice. But that's we don't necessarily have that. Like I know I've talked about like me grabbing a drink here and there, but not something I do like in the middle of the day or something that's gonna super affect what me falling asleep in the middle of the day.
yeah.
It's definitely like the meds, and it takes a while for your body to adjust to a new one, and then even if you get used to it, it doesn't mean that it's working with your with your body. I mean, you could take something for 10, 11, 12 months, but that doesn't mean that it still works with your system and everything. So it might be there are lots of different seizure medications out there. So maybe that person just needs to at least try another one, for a couple of months or something, and see if those are better.
Right. Get some second opinions. Try other stuff.
Yeah, because I like I said in the past, the people that are here have probably heard me say this, so sorry, but yeah, I've been on several different ones since I was first you know told that I had this back in 2010. I've tried several different ones, so there's plenty of different different meds to take out there. So if this one isn't working and they worded it so it sounds like it was just like their first one, um so definitely try a couple of others at least to see if something works out a little bit better with their body's system.
Mm-hmm. You can always go back.
Exactly, and if the next one doesn't work, you can go back to the first one that you tried.
Yeah, because they've tried to get me back on Kepra. They've tried.
I wish I wish I had something else to try. Get off this shit, but at least I've lowered my dosage of Keppra from the first from the
Congrats.
first one. Yeah, it was 3,000, now it's 2,000. Still a stupidly high amount, but lower, I guess. I should look at
It's
it.
now 4,000.
Wait, what was that? Did you say 4?
Yeah, at least it's
Said
now
it-
4,000.
Those two. Wait, were you prescribed 4,000 before?
Yes,
Holy shit!
4,000.
Really?
And that
My
wasn't.
doctor told me that 3,000 was the highest that she could prescribe me.
It was 4,000.
3,000. 3,000 twice a day would be the max. Would be 6,000.
Yeah.
I just they just gave it to me once a day, but she okay, so maybe I guess at one time it was 3,000. I don't know. I've been told different weird shit from Kaiser like over the years. Like when I had ER visits, 15 years ago, they
The
told me a
only
certain.
person I know that took more than me is Kate. And Kate, I
Damn.
think she said she maxed out at 6,000 at one point. Cookie, you remember, right?
Mhm.
Wow. Yeah. Kate was the only person I knew that was higher, that ever said something that was a higher dose than mine. And I was on 4,000 of Keppra and 500 on Lamictal. at the same time.
Damn, 500 well, obviously, but 500
At the same time.
a day, was that at one time or split up?
Um, split up in the day, but it's still like 2:50 in the morning, 2:50
Oh,
at night.
yeah. That's still a ton. Yeah, that's why. But I was just wondering if it was at once or not, because the when I take my Keppra, excuse me, when I take my Keppra, it's generally like, within an hour or right before I go to bed. So that way, when it does kind of kick in, I'm already asleep and it's not really super affecting, but it's still in my system to help everything. So, yeah, taking it like a couple times a day or just that amount is, yeah, kind of surprising to me.
I suggested to KC earlier, if Keppra is really bugging you, there are other meds. I tried Vinpat right after the Keppra, right? Basically, I raged out on my pre-neurologist and I had to look for a new one. And the first med he gave me was Vinpat, and it was much, much better. You
I'm
won't
yeah,
even.
I'm on Vimpat, like, also. I'm
And
on
then,
both
and then they
already.
did a Briviac combo,
I was on
which
Lamictal before.
Briviac is a version of Keppra, basically, that without the rage and all that stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was on like Lamictal before, and basically I was like, I think this one's fine. I want to stay on this one. Like, give me the Vimpat as well. And then they took me off the Lamictal and then put me on Keppra as well as the Vimpat. And I was just like, dude, I'm literally asking you to keep me on this one, and I don't want this other one, because I had taken Keppra when I
You
first
have to
started
be
having
assertive.
seizures back in 2005. So, like, yeah, 20 years ago, and it was like I only took it for a few months and they took me off of it because it completely didn't work. So I'm like, why are you prescribing me this again? It's just been a giant, big, merry-go-round, a giant circle of all this stuff, and that's why I get so grumpy about stuff sometimes. It's just
Yeah,
because I'm
you have
just
to
like,
be
I asked
assertive.
you to do something and you literally did the opposite.
That doesn't sound like a good doctor to me, because they
Yeah.
have to work with you and they have to listen to you, and you know they can tell you this is against my wish or whatever and stuff, but they still have to listen to you because
Y-
you're the
yeah,
boss,
and that's the
basically.
thing too, is I guess I should put my foot down at some point, but the thing is while still technically it's the same medical place. It's Kaiser. I don't know if you guys have that out there in Philly, or if you've heard of that or whatever. So it's the same
Okay.
medical, business, whatever you want to call it. But I've had several neurologists, like, over time. So each time I get, like, I have a different one, I just kind of like, okay, I have, like, say, this is my situation. Let's do this. So I give them, a new shot at it, and then I get on a different medication, or, a different dosage, and deal with it. So I keep thinking, I'm like, oh, this will be great, and this will change. This will be awesome. This will be, blah, 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 each time. And so each time that happens, and then things don't get better. So I guess it is my fault for not just,
Yeah, you have to.
putting my foot down and saying, shut the shut the fuck up and listen to me, motherfucker. Like, you know,
You have to do it
I need to do that one day,
in a nice
probably.
way, but yeah, you have to do it.
Well, yeah, not those exact words, obviously, but
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 yeah,
yeah,
like my last visit was to get me off. I knew my basically my battle plan is because I was on 5 medications again, and I'm like, this is way too much.
just for
And two,
just for epilepsy, not for.
yes, nothing,
Damn,
nothing,
5 different
nothing
that
else.
wow. Yeah, that is way
And
that's
I'm
yeah,
like,
over the
this is
top, it
this
seems.
this is way too much. This is way too much.
Yeah.
Look at Andrea. She's on 4 currently, and I said I have to get myself back down. I can probably handle 2, you know, and I worked my way back down. We knew the risky one. I talked with my neurologist. We knew the risky one was going to be the Clonopin. We knew what could happen.
Yeah, that
Getting
one
off of
did
it.
not work for me at all. It was probably like a decade ago, but yeah, it was only like 6 months or so that I was on it, and yeah, that one was not friendly to my system.
It, it's not friendly. When I was telling Annie about Excopri and stuff and what I researched about it, it's like Excopri doesn't play well with others.
Yeah.
And the benzos are the big ones because Pookie knows. Pookie knows how many times I fell asleep on a podcast. And it wasn't just a podcast I was sleeping on. I was sleeping all day.
He was getting good sleep. Angel
Yeah.
was legit the last person there every time.
But I was sleeping all day with those 2 alone. And I'm like, I got to because I'm a dad. I'm a dad, you know. I got to take care of my kid. I can't be fighting for my kid and I'm not going to be able to be like up for her. And today was a big example of that. It's like, you know, I took a Clonopin for emergency use, but I didn't have that energy to play with her tonight or do stuff like. And that was the big reason why I wanted off the Clonopin if I'm going to be on the Excopri. And the Excopri is the miracle drug, you know.
Yeah, definitely doesn't play. Yeah, none of the seizure drugs really play well with others, which is why I've mentioned in the past I prescribed and I once in a while take morphine when my pancreas is acting up, and I absolutely hate taking it. Like for maybe an hour or so, it kind of feels, relaxing and nice for that first hour. But then the next, rest of the day and the next day and everything is absolutely miserable because I just have a headache. I have nausea. Sometimes I throw up because I'm so dizzy and everything. It's just they don't work like well together. Like I have several prescription bottles of the I don't know if I should say it, but of the morphine, just sitting here because I never take them because that's literally my last resort because of how shitty it'll make me feel, for the next 24 hours after. I'll smoke, I'll take an edible, I'll, do I would rather do 100 of those before taking before taking like pain medication because they just don't work, they don't work well together. And
So
it's
you
yeah.
have like spare, you have spare morphine sitting around?
I yep, I do, and I've been asked multiple times by many people to to yeah,
I'm
you know,
just, yeah, I'm just
sell
here.
them for a little bit, but yes, I do have extra. We'll say.
They gave
Um,
you this syringe, like you can shoot yourself with it?
oh no, it's in pill form.
Oh, okay.
They're in pill form, but yeah, I just I especially over the last couple of years, they've gotten so strict with the I guess laws and prescribing it
Mm.
that I make sure I refill it each month when I'm supposed to. Because if I let it go too long, then they'll be like, oh, you don't use it. Do you actually need it? And this and this. So I just make sure I refill it every time I'm supposed to make sure that like my prescription doesn't get taken away, because like I said, there are, or like how I've been feeling this last week, there are times when I actually truly do need a few to have the pain go away and everything. So I make sure that I keep up on it. But yeah, overall I have a we'll just say, yeah, and a couple of extra months worth of the prescription.
Gotcha. I
I'll
know
leave
what
it
you
at
mean.
that.
I know what you're talking about. Wink, wink. um,
If it becomes a very serious issue for you, let me know.
it will not. But I do have a post here, you guys.
Had it. I had morphine when I might dislocated with shoulder, and that was it. Hey, Chris is here.
My guy. You
Yo,
see what I mean, man?
you hearing?
See, every time I get people like new on the hour, see, it just the energy just comes back.
What
Ugh.
up, fellas?
Chris the
Hey,
Great.
what's up?
What up, Chris?
Been a
I
minute,
got a post
Poogie.
here. You're right on time. It says, is it common for PCPs or psychiatrists to prescribe seizure meds before a neurology appointment? Hey, everyone. I'm wondering if anyone has experience with this. I've had one grand mal seizure, two tonic-clonics, and now have been having what I think are focal impaired awareness seizures, auras, twitching spells, sensory distortions, electrical feelings without loss of consciousness. My neurologist appointment isn't until April, and I'm struggling to wait that long. The episodes happen almost every day and fuck with my life a lot. Work, relationships, mental health, etc. I know certain anti-seizure meds overlap with mental health treatment. I already tried Lamictal in the past for depression, but it made things worse. Gabapentin also doesn't help. Wondering if the other seizure meds that also
Lamictal doesn't treat
and or
depression.
anxiety and or anxiety, or are at least commonly used in psychiatry that might make a PCP or psych more willing to prescribe something in the meantime, or if they might just go ahead and prescribe something like Keppra. I'm on Lexapro, so the meds would need to not have been dangerous interactions. I'm obviously planning to talk to my PCP soon, but I'd love to hear experiences before I go in. Waiting until April feels really hard given how frequent these episodes have become. Thanks in advance.
I
Um,
think I can answer this definitely.
my personal one, I would say, is depends on how good you know your primary care physician
Yeah.
to wait to know like what they can and cannot work in, you know? Because I've been with my PCP for so long. I know he works just with like
And that's a good thing,
medicine and he knows
in my opinion.
basics.
If
I've
your
been seeing.
primary care and your psychiatrist know you better that long, that they believe that, yeah, you're really suffering from epilepsy and you still haven't been diagnosed, yes, they can write those prescriptions.
Yeah,
I
Is
I
would,
it
mean,
common is the question? I don't know. But I
I
yeah,
know
I, I did
that
kind of miss the question.
is
I,
it common for
I,
PCPs or
it just seems it.
psychiatrists to prescribe seizure meds before a neurology appointment?
Oh yeah.
yes, it's possible. I was
It's definitely it will
prescribed.
happen.
I
I
was
mean, they.
prescribed Dilatin before I even saw my first neurologist.
Yeah, well actually no, I did see a neurologist before I was here. One thing so it's kind of a random thing, but the last neurologist I saw, I was like, is there a chance I could get like a marijuana license just so it could be legal, even though I live in New Hampshire? And she told me, oh, you can find it cheaper somewhere. It's like I don't need it cheap. I need it legal.
Yeah, you just need it in general. Like, it's not like you're doing it, yeah, for fun. You're doing it to try and help yourself.
Yeah. And I actually started smoking again probably 2, 3 weeks ago, and I'm hoping it helps by drinking, but it has definitely helped with some fatigue and just how much I fucking work.
It does help with I don't, I mean, obviously everybody's different, but just to give you some like upward hope or whatever, it has helped with my uh amount of drinking. Um, because usually I'll do that and I'll just get like the relaxing feeling, chill out for a few hours or whatever, and just not even think about the other stuff. So um, yeah, I
I
hope
appreciate that.
yeah, I hope that helps for you because it has a little bit.
And because
Yeah,
sorry.
I'm in California, so it's easy
Yeah.
to just run up, run up the street. Well, not literally. It's
You
still a few. It's still a few,
can
miles
probably
away.
go to a gas station and be like, hey, give me that for whatever.
I mean, I know that's a stereotype, but it's not. It's not
Yeah.
that bad
Yeah.
easy. There's still you have to still go to like a specific.
This place,
They're
yeah.
called dispensaries. Yeah, you got to still go to a specific one for those, and
I've lived in
that's where I'll get
Maine.
like a cartridge or gummies or
Yeah.
some
I've
cayenne.
lived in Maine, but like the fact that where I live right now in New Hampshire, every fucking state's like, yeah, let's do it for fun, for lack of a better term right there. But in New Hampshire,
Yeah, yeah, I know.
it's legal.
Yeah, I know.
Illegal.
I-
Chris,
Dang.
you can look up a I don't know how I did it before, but you can look up a basically all the doctors who because my previous when I asked him, he wasn't certified to write prescriptions for
Yeah.
marijuana, but you can look up doctors in the state who are certified to basically give you that ID,
Hmm.
like say, yeah, he needs it.
But then, even though I would, especially where I live, then I would be like, what is the
Yeah,
word?
where would you go
The
to
smell.
even get some after getting the license for that, like in your
I
state?
mean, I got
You
someone
have to
who I
go to a
can,
dispensary.
yeah, it's a sensory. It's basically someone that I know who has a car, and I'll be like, hey, I know you go there. What's up?
But do you have
You're
to
closer to
drive
Boston than I was.
I don't drive. I surrendered my license when my
or yeah,
seizures
yeah,
came
yeah. No,
back.
like yeah, none of us drive really, but
Yeah.
like where like how far would you have to go to like to go to a place that sells it where you could walk in and be like, oh yeah, I want these and I want this, and like how far would you have to go to like an actual place versus some guy on a street corner. I
I
know
mean,
it's not that hard.
it's not a guy from a street corner, but it is someone who can go that 20
No,
minutes.
yeah. Oh, okay, okay. I was just wondering, what it's, I've been to Virginia and Chicago and New York, a
Drew.
couple of times and everything, but that was long, long time ago, not right. Yeah.
But
So I was just
yeah,
wondering.
it was. I
My
think there was a.
ex-wife drove from Philadelphia to Boston just so we can get
And
Yeah,
how far of a distance is that? Like what, a couple hundred miles, or
total
maybe
drive
the map in my
8
head is
hours.
off. 8 hours, you said?
Total drive from and back.
So probably like 400 to 500 miles then.
Yeah, I can't do the math by miles, but yeah.
Around that though. Yeah. Dang. Oh man, I'm sorry. I hop on my bike and I get to my place in like 10 minutes on my bicycle, not even a plane.
That was
yeah.
before Jersey got legal.
Yeah.
I walk rather about 10 minutes to work.
Yeah,
Which
yeah,
I mean, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say you're as fortunate as I am.
Yeah.
I hop on my bike. It's only 2.5-ish miles to my
Yeah,
place.
what's that, like 20 minutes or something like
Like 10 to 15, depending
that?
how
Yeah,
long like a stoplight, a
that's not
crosswalk
bad.
takes.
But
Yeah,
at
I'm
least you're getting
very,
some
very fortunate. And I used to be
exercise there. I'm sorry, I
yeah,
feel like I'm talking over you, but
oh no, I feel like I'm talking over you too.
I know.
But yeah, it's yeah, gives me some
Like,
exercise. I before this, when I did have a full-time job, I was a bicycle mechanic, so I know how to
Damn,
maintain
didn't know
and
that.
work on my own bike, so I can keep up the maintenance on it. So not only do I not have any cost of car, gas, insurance, or anything, I know how to maintain my own bicycle. So like I said, plus the
And
exercise. So it's all, yeah, it's not too bad. I try and look at
and
it.
you're talking about an actual bicycle, not like a motorcycle, right?
No, yeah, a bicycle. I actually, pedal it.
Yeah.
It's electric,
Oh, an electric
but
one.
it doesn't have a throttle on it or anything. I still have to
Yeah, I
pedal
get that. Yeah,
with
yeah.
it. Yeah. So, yeah, I keep the exercise up and
I'm
everything. And
simply curious.
yeah, that's fine. That's fine. And I have no problem. I love. I could go on for bicycles about days. Like that was my first. It was my very first job when I was a freshman in high school. So when I was 15 years old, my first job was working at a bicycle shop, and basically that's all I did all the way up until I couldn't keep a full time position anymore.
Yeah.
So 2022. So from 2001 to 2022, I worked at bicycle shops.
How old are you right now, James?
39. I'll be 40 in March.
Damn. Yeah, I'll
So basically,
be
so yeah,
33.
for 22 years,
So,
basically the only
yeah.
thing I ever knew, like I have a full, tool. I have every toolbox of full of every bicycle tool that you could think of.
That's dope.
Sitting in my garage. I do stuff for friends all the time, like random,
So
random
I
bicycle
want to
work.
share a little bit
Yeah, go ahead. Your turn. I've been talking too
because
long. Sorry.
you were talking about bikes and it was one of your first jobs, but one of my first jobs was in a restaurant. But then one of my favorite jobs that I've had as a younger, I did a lot of sailing cruises.
Well, you did a lot of what? Sorry, I didn't hear.
Sailing cruises.
Sailing cruises?
Yeah. We would have people come and be on a sailboat, basically.
Mm-hmm. Like
And
tourist type stuff.
tourist, yeah. It was in Maine. It was in Algonquin, Maine. I would do sailing cruises.
Okay.
Me and my family worked all there, like not in the sailing cruise, but like in Algonquin. It was a touristy town every summer. It's vibrant, but
Yeah.
I would get we would do. I had no fucking clue that I had. Sorry, I lost my thought. I had literally no knowledge or experience with sailing boats, and the captain knew that. But then
You
he
just
kind
kind
of,
of like learned along the way.
yeah, exactly. And the way he kind of treated it all was like, why the fuck don't you know? So I only did it for about a year, but it was a very fun job.
Yeah, that sounds super fun to me, dude.
I would get like
Yeah.
$300. I would get paid in cash. I would get like 20 or $30 for every cruise we did from the captain, and we would do like they would last like an hour and a half, 2 hours. So it was like 14-hour days. So I'd get like 100 to $120 from him, and then I would get whatever tips they gave us, which would be like anywhere from 100 to like 300.
That was your first job, you said?
Not my first one, but it was probably one of
Okay.
the more fun ones, is what I was getting at.
Nice. And how since you asked me, how old are you? I'm
I
sure we've talked
am,
about this before, but
oh
I'm
yeah,
so sorry.
currently 32, and like you said,
Oh,
in
okay.
March, I'll be a year older.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, didn't we talk about this like recently? We talked. What was your birthday
A
again,
couple.
man?
Mine's March 26th.
Oh, okay, mine's the 16th. Mine's the
Yeah,
16th. Yeah, I think we mentioned this like last week
plenty.
or something.
Yeah.
Something that I've stupid enough that I forgot.
Hey, ladies. I'm just kidding. You guys got quiet when I said ladies.
Well, we want
Because
to hear what's
I
next,
didn't think you were
Daddy.
talking to us then. So
All right.
I didn't know you were still here, Pookie. We've been talking so long, I forgot about you.
I was gonna say you guys want to have a conversation. I'm trying to wait till you guys finished.
Everybody's body is different, and we're not doctors.
Please take medication as prescribed.
Please take your medication as prescribed.
I'm about
Right.
to go to bed.